And joining us now in studio for more is Master Sergeant Dean Elsdunne. He's the international spokesperson for the Israel Police. Dean, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, talk to us now about Arnon Zamora and also about the Yamam. Seeing them and hearing about them in operation there in the heart of Gaza, this is somewhat exceptional.
You know, there's so much I can tell you, both about Arnon, both about the Yamam, but really what I want to say is, besides him being a commander, besides him being so brave and heroic and really being the face of this nation right now, bringing home 4 hostages so they can reunite with their family, more than all of that, he was a father. Father to Noam, to Itai, he was a husband to Michal, and when he went home, he took off his uniform and he laughed, he played with them. He was one of many of our nation that wanted no more than to bring the hostages home, and that's what he did, and he paid for it with his life, and I guarantee you 100 times over he would do it all over again. And there's no better way to honor his memory than to really recognize and celebrate his life, celebrate all the missions he went on that we don't even know.
Right. This
came to air, this one it's been released, and now the public knows about it, but just imagine how many more lives have been saved because of him, because of his teammates.
Right, and we mentioned that his actions even on October 7th and Yad Mordechai and much more. Tell us, let's talk about Yamam, because again, people know more, for example, about the Sayeret Matkal, the elite army units, than they do about this particular unit.
Tip of the spear. There is no better in the world other than Yamam. Whether it's hostage rescue, whether it's counterterrorism missions, they are the ones that engage directly with the terrorists who, at a moment's notice, they get intelligence that somebody wants to commit an attack and they're ready to intercept them. That means that they need to be trained around the clock, every day of the year. If they're not on an operational mission, they're training for it. Different types of missions. You see right now, just imagine what it is to go into a very hostile environment like Gaza, where you're surrounded by terrorists, where the civilians may very well possibly be complicit with the Hamas terrorists.
I mean, I was going to ask you, but you jumped. I think we can assume in this case they were complicit, because we know that the hostages were being held in private apartments rather than in tunnels, maybe counting on the fact that this would prevent Israel from rescuing him.
2 main things that we need to discuss. One is the fact that Hamas is holding our hostages, civilian hostages, in civilian areas. That should be the real question of the entire world, not just the international media. And the second one is the fact that we still have civilians that are being held hostage. Why is that not the main focus? Can you imagine how complex and how tough it must be for them to go in knowing that there are those waiting for them? If they don't accomplish their mission, those loved ones, the ones that we saw reunited with their families, it's up to them. They're not going to be reunited. That's the responsibility he had on his shoulders, and that's just one mission that we know of. So I salute him, but more than anything, really, if I can take this opportunity, I want to salute his wife. I want to salute Michal.
Right. I would just want to mention, we did show on this report the social media post that she did. I mean, just to be able to post something like that just the day after losing it, not just a husband, of course, but the father of their children.
Yeah, and not just Michal, all the wives. You know, there's over 60 police officers. There's hundreds of soldiers. There's hundreds of miluimnikim that are on the line. Okay, over 60 police officers fell so far, and I began to say hundreds of officers. The wives are the true definition of strength, the true definition of resilience. They're at home holding down the fort so that our brave men and our brave women can be out there, keeping the promise to bring our loved ones home and to defend our nation, so that never again is not just a phrase that we say, but it's a promise we can uphold.
Right. Dean, you alluded to the high casualties of the police on October 7th and the few of the days after, which was an unprecedented blow for the police. For the IDF, they've had experience like this, Second Lebanon War, even going back to Lebanon, people, but for the police, unprecedented. Yeah. So what does a day like yesterday mean just for the morale of the police ranks after having experienced that day like October 7th?
We know our work. We know our work. Arnon's work, even though it came out to the rest of the world, late last night, we know what we do every single day to be the bulletproof vest of our nation. That's what the Israel police and the border police was on October 7th. That's what they were before, and that's what they're going to be every day since. When there is a danger, our officers are going to run into the line of fire to be the ones that separate the civilians from the threat.
All right. Certainly we do have to, again, salute this hero. As it was said, the operation will be named, is now named.
Operation Elsdunne.
Right. Asaf, did you want to say?
I can assure you that the name Arnon in 2025 will be extremely popular for newborns in Israel.
I would think so. As
Definitely.
alluding to way Yonatan Netanyahu, his name, of course, in the time following Operation Entebbe, and this will go down together, certainly, with in the Entebbe rescue as a high point for the security forces, and in particular for the police. And the Yamam Dean Elsdunne, thank you for joining us from the Israel Police.